All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and welcome back to another video where we are going to continue doing a project to try to learn back-end software engineering skills. And the purpose of this kind of project here is just to have a fun time and to figure out like what's important in back-end software engineering because that's where I want to go. I enjoy software engineering. I enjoy back-end stuff. So, okay, what is software engineering? What is important? So that's kind of what we're trying to do, and we're just playing around with this project. So let's continue with where we left off. I have it here. So where we left off was we have this server here. Okay, so what this server does is we're able to have these different routes. So we have like, okay, this route, which is second page, and I can hit uh, this route and I am able to service it. So I can do render. Okay, well, what is render? Render means that it's going to go and it's going to render this EJS file. Okay, well, how does it know where that EJS file is? Like, I just put another right there. How does it know that that's an EJS file? Well, that's because up here, we told it that view engine is EJS, so we set a setting. What setting? View engine. View engine is equal to what? EJS. Okay, so we told Express, hey, there's something called view engine, or sorry, Express has a setting called view engine, and we say, hey, Express, set that to EJS. So it sets it to EJS, and then we say, hey, there's another setting, put this views and make it \source views. Okay, so this is a path. So we're putting a path. And if we look up here, source, and then come here, source views right here. And in this views folder, we have two EJS files. One is another, one is index. Okay, so Express knows whenever we're trying to render something, it's going to look for EJS files in that location. So all I had to do was say another, and it was able to come in here and load this HTML file. And actually, what I was looking at in the previous videos that I was making is this EJS file is actually, let's see, it is rendered by Express and it puts in this title variable and it puts in this message variable, which I pass in to EJS through here. Okay, so title, crazy, message, you have mail. Okay, then, so I send this over to the client. And then what happens is the client says, hey, I need this style style sheet called styles2.css. I don't have it. I can't load it. So hey, I need to load it. I need to load this styles2. Okay, so that's what the client said. They send another request to me. So the first request is that get. So it's get, what was it? Get second page. Okay, client says get second page. And then it gets back the EJS, which actually Express turned into HTML. So the client gets back an HTML file. Then the client says, hey, I don't have the styles. So what it does is it sends another request, pew, to my Express server and says, hey, I need styles2.css. Now, the thing with Express here is we actually told it where public files are, which was, where did we do that? It was something public. I remember that. Come on, where is it? Here it is. App.use express static. So these static means it can just be served, right? bam, bam, bam. The client can request it and it just gets it back. So I put it in this public folder, right? So if you come here, source public, and now we have styles and styles too. So now my browser says, hey, I want styles too. And Express says, okay, here you go, and gives styles2.css. And then the browser is running JavaScript. So the JavaScript is running on the client, and it takes the CSS or the HTML, it takes the CSS and creates that web page for us. So that's a secondary software application, which is the web browser. So whatever it is, like Safari or Chrome or Brave, whatever the web explorer you're using, that's its own software, and it loads the HTML. And does the get requests and post requests and all of that. So it sends it over to me, who I am acting as the server. Okay, so that's kind of where we are right now. The next question that we want to answer is, okay, great, we're able to do that, but I kind of want to be able to use JavaScript. I know that you can connect JavaScript to HTML files, right? And I know that you can do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what the purpose is. Now, just thinking through, I'm thinking what the justification is going to be is something like this. And we're going to see how this can lead into our project as well. I think what's going on is I will have a web page, and it has JavaScript, or sorry, it's like HTML, whatever, and it'll have a little box, okay? And this box I can type data in, so some type of string, so maybe my name, okay? Then I have a button, and I press this button. The client presses the button, and that button press is an event that JavaScript will perform an action. And what action should it perform? It needs to do a post request to me, the server. Okay, so that means I need to go into like EJS. I need to create a text box. I need to link JavaScript somehow. And then I need to handle a post request. So that's what we're going to try to do in this video. So lots of stuff and lots of fun learning. So here we go. Okay, so I believe it was this one that we were working on. Environment variables. Can't remember anyways, let's just, okay, so I have EJS files, and I want to know how to let the user enter in data and then press submit. Okay. And then that submit will send a message to me as the server. And I didn't put post request because I don't want to give the AI if it's not actually a post request, right, I don't want to lead it in the wrong direction. Maybe there's a different methodology that I'm not quite sure about. So we're going to see what it says and figure out how to move forward from there. So sends a message to me as the server to be able to capture that data. How should I do this? Okay. Just smell something a little bit burning, and I was making sure it wasn't my power. I have a power supply right next to me. I was like, turned it off. Yeah, I'm not shorting anything. Okay. So inside your EJS, okay, form.egs, create a form where the user can enter data. I'm not seeing any JavaScript here. Action equals submit. So I'm gonna just, well, let's look at this. Let's read what it says. And then let's ask it, like, hey, I didn't see any JavaScript, and I know you can connect JavaScript with HTML. Like, how do you do that? Okay. Form action equals submit. Okay. What is action? Method equals post. Label for name. Label for message. Okay. Text area ID message name. Well, okay. So key parts, action backslash submit tells the form where to send data. Okay. So is this the route? And this is the method. Okay. So I'm guessing, before I look at the handler, I'm guessing I'm going to have something similar to this. In here, I'm going to have app.post, then what did it call it? Submit, okay. Then I'm still going to have the response and request, okay. Like this, and then I'm going to do something like console.log, and then where is that key? This one? You got a response of, and now how do I capture that data? Let's see. $sign here, and then I'm guessing response dot params, maybe. That looks promising. Dot, I don't know. What did we call it? Message name dot name. Can I just go like that? Okay. Of, and then I'm just gonna say name like this, and then and message here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Response dot params. I don't know if this is right. I have no idea. Dot message. Hey, it's just auto-populated. Okay. All right, now I need to do whatever app. Just gonna copy and paste from here. Okay, so app.get, and instead of second page, I'm gonna do my form, and then I'm going to render form, and that means that now I need to have inside of views, I need to have another file, add file, actually I should do it up here, called forms, or form.ejs, okay, and inside of this EJS I should have this one. Okay, I'm just gonna do my node mon and then server.js, I think that was right. And then I'm gonna come here, localhost, and then form. Cannot get form. So we didn't get it correctly. Let's, okay. Render form. That's what I did, right? Oh, my form. Okay. My form. Okay. Timothy Lee Grant. Message. This is my message. Okay. And then send. So I see something coming here. You got a message of undefined and message of undefined. Awesome. So let's see what's going on. Okay. Const name request.body. So it's on the request. Okay, so request dot body. Can I do dot name? I just want to see, like, I'm trying to just play with things right now, you know? Request dot body dot message. Okay, let's do it again. Let's try the exact same thing. Come here, here, send. I don't like that. I don't like the way that looks. Okay. Let's do it the way that it wanted. Well, I don't actually think I need this. Hold on. I'm just gonna, does that do anything? Come here to my forms, here, okay. Submit. All right, so let me try in this submit thing. Const like this and name message and then equals, what was it? Request dot body, something like that. Not sure. Whoops. Close out of that. Do I need a do I need to do the rest.send? Response.send. And then you got it. You got it. I'm gonna comment that out because I really want to see if this can work right here. No, it doesn't. Name and message. Name of request dot body is undefined. request. Oh, did I mix these ones up? Response. Which one goes first? Request goes first. Okay, so request. Okay. Request. And then response. Request, response. Request, response. Okay. Let's try it again. Cannot destructure property name as undefined means that request is not being populated properly. This happens when Express isn't parsing incoming data correctly. Fix this. Ensure body parsing middleware is set up. Okay. Did it tell us to do that? We already did this one here. URL encoding. Did it tell us up here that we need to do that? Okay, so allows parsing form data. What is that? What is that? We need to investigate this. It's very good that we ran into this problem because I have no idea what that means. Okay. Let's just put this with other use. Let's just see if it fixes it. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. And let's check to make sure Timothy Lee Grant, this is my message. There we go. But we need to figure out what that statement is. And we also need to figure out, by the way, we haven't forgotten, we still need to go back and try to figure out, okay, how do you get JavaScript on the client side? How do you connect HTML with CSS with JavaScript? In the last video, we figured out how to do HTML and CSS. We connected those together. Now we need to figure out how do you take JavaScript and make that third sandwich. Okay. So this line was my problem, but I don't understand what was happening and why I was getting the error. So we got it to work, but that's not really, the point isn't for the project to work. The point is for us to learn as much as we can along the way, right? So let's make it make sense. I like this. All right. Why was request body undefined? By default, Express does not automatically parse incoming request bodies. What is a request body? So that's like the, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out too. That means when your form was submitted, the data existed in the request, but Express didn't know how to process it. Without a body parser middleware, request.body remains undefined. Okay, so it just didn't have even that variable called body. Okay. Cannot deconstruct property name of body as it is undefined. Okay, so what does this do? Adding this middleware, so this is middleware, okay, tells Express to parse URL encoded form data. URL encoded form data, which is the default format when submitting a form via post. URL encoded data equals name. Hold on, did we do that though? We just did like this submit, right? Like, or maybe I didn't see the actual request. But, and why are we on this, not hashtag, backslash submit? We were just on form, so we like changed. Okay. So, extended true allows parsing nested objects if needed. So like text, hello, timestamp here. Okay, so that's kind of like if our variable has multiple entries. So before adding the middleware, form data was sent, but Express ignored it. Okay, so it got that, it got this, but it just ignored it. Okay, so request body becomes name John here, okay? Always include body parsing middleware when handling form submission. Okay, so what I want to know is, what is this? It's like on form EJS. Can you break down every line of this just this, and tell me what it does? Because I don't know what form is, and what is action. Okay. So this starts an HTML form and defines, okay, action equals submit. When the form is submitted, data will be sent to this location, which is handled by your server. Method post specifies HTTP method post to send data. Post is used for submitting data rather than retrieving it, okay? Label label for. So creates a label for the input field. For name links the label in the input field with ID equals name, okay? Improving accessibility. Input type is text, so this is where we're creating the box. ID is name, which links up here, okay? Name required. Okay. Creates a text input field for the user to enter their name. So this creates the actual text box. Forces user to enter a value before submitting. This is the key used when sending data. Okay, request body name. And now, actually, I want to try that. I'm going to come here and do, instead of this, I don't want this anymore. I want request dot body dot name. And I want request dot body dot message. And yeah, let's just see about this. Let's redo it here. Okay, and we got it. Okay, cool. So I can access it through these, like, request.body. Okay. Another label, linking Label form. Okay. Helps users understand to enter their message. Text area. Text area is like a multi-lined input box, okay? As opposed to up here, just a text. This is a text area. This is input. Oh, input. Okay. So now we have a button. So there's a button type. And this is submit. And on that submit button, it says the word send. Okay. Sends data to the \submit when clicked. So, okay. Let's try to add a new thing on here. So form action submit. So it's going to So I'm gonna try to do another one. So I'm gonna do whatever. Label for equals what? Optional. Then this is optional, okay? Text area, ID, optional text, name equals what? My optional text, okay? And then I'm just gonna close it because I don't want it to be okay. So I'm gonna come back here and try to load this. And nothing is there. Do I need to reload this? Like, okay, here we go, here we go. So, can you see me? And then for this, because these I think are optional, or are required, I just put some data in there. And I got, you got her of SS, okay. And now I'm gonna try to parse this over from my JavaScript here. Okay. So console.log this one, and then the optional text was, and then $ here request dot body dot option. So is it this ID or is it this name? And that's why I purposefully named these different, because this is message, that's message, and that's message. So like, what are we working with? Like, where is the connecting item? It's optional text. Let's see. Optional text was undefined, so not that one. Maybe it's my optional text. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we were able to get that working. Okay. Well, now we need to come here and try to understand things more. So, um, what does form in HTML do? Also, I know that HTML can have JavaScript connected to it. Why did you not use JavaScript to perform these actions? So what does form do? The form element in HTML is used to collect and send user input. Okay? It's essential for handling interactions like login, sign up, contact form. Okay, and by the way, this is kind of why I didn't want to lead the AI and say, like, oh, do it this specific way, because I wanted it to tell me, like, oh, I wouldn't have known about this form if I tried to force it or strong arm it into a certain way. So now I know that there's this form element in HTML whose purpose is to create uh, post requests, essentially, I think. Defines an area for input fields, allows users to input data, sends data to specified user endpoints when submitted, can be customized. Okay, nice. So, like, sends it to this endpoint. So I'm creating a form element. This is a form element in HTML. Its action is it's going to submit here, and it's going to be a post request. Now I have input elements, right? Like text, okay? This is just saying it's the text, kind of like declaring it like an int or something like that. Okay? Name, username. So this is kind of in the body. Hey, it's name, like that's the ID. Okay? And then placeholder, I'm guessing this is just the text that's in there before the user starts writing. Okay, and then button, so this is another element. And type equals submit. Okay. Why didn't we use JavaScript instead? You can use JavaScript to submit forms, but in this case, an HTML form with direct submission is simpler and works out of the box. However, JavaScript is useful when handling form validations, checking inputs before submission, okay, sending data without reloading, customizing user feedback. Okay, so for example, using JavaScript to submit a form dynamically. So form ID here. So we're creating another form element, right? And, okay. So it's a text box. We're creating a text box. It's going to have the ID of username, and it's going to say enter username. Okay, and then there's going to be a button, and this on click, okay, is going to call this function, which is here. Okay. And then script. So now what is script? I know that this right here, obviously, because we've been doing it on Node.js, this is JavaScript code. Okay. So let username equal document get element by ID. Oh, this is that, what was it called? Document object model or something? Where you can like talk to the like the I forget. Dot value fetch. Okay. Makes it faster and more interactive. Okay. Can you go over every topic in here for my understanding? Okay. Absolutely. Let's break it down. All right, so function submit form. This defines a function called submit form. Okay, cool. That's just like every other language. So DOM manipulation. Document, okay, so here. Document element selects the input field with username equal to ID. Value retrieves text entered by the user. What? So where is this document? Like, where is this document? Get element by ID, username. And I'm seeing username up here. So username here. So it gets the, oh, it gets this text box, I think. And I think document is the web page itself, I think. And then dot value. Well, what did it say value was? Retrieves the text entered by the user. Okay. The result is stored in username variable. Right there. Okay. Fetch API. Fetch is modern JavaScript API for making HTTP requests. Okay. Submit sends the request to the submit endpoint of your server. Alternatively, there we go. If sending requests externally, you'd use the full method post. This specifies that the request should use post method, which is used for sending data rather than retrieving it. Okay, headers, sending JSON. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Yeah, I think I stumbled on a cavern of knowledge here that I'm like, man, okay, we need to investigate it because it's super important. But man, like, I wasn't expecting to stumble upon this cavern right now. Okay. So it's in my form.ejs, yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is actually do form 2. So I'm gonna come here, add another one. So form2.ejs, okay. And then, let's see, so we're gonna do this right here. So go through it line by line and try to understand what we're doing. Okay, so here, form. Okay, so we're creating a form element, an HTML element, which is form. And we're calling it ID. Okay, and this ID is called my form. Okay. So now everything in this is part of that element. So what do we want? We want an input, okay? And the type is going to be text. So it's a text input, okay? Now ID, this is username, okay? So this is how I'm going to identify it in the document, right? Like it's part of the web page and it's called ID, okay? Placeholder is user name goes here, okay? And then I close this, right? Yeah, then I just close it, okay? And now we want to create a button element, so button, okay? And now type equals button. Why do I need to tell it twice? And then on click, so this is kind of like, maybe it's just a standard option for a button element, which is called on click. And what does on click do? It does something like it calls a function. So what function do we want? Submit form. So that's our function, okay? Then close it. And now what text do we want? Submit here. Okay. Like that. Cool, so we got that. Now we're gonna say, hey, here's my script. Okay. Now, so this is JavaScript and it's going to be run by the browser, right? I think so. So now, okay, now what? I'm gonna declare a function called up here, submit form, okay? Just like I do in Node.js, then I'm gonna do let username. So I'm creating a variable called username. It's going to be equal to, and now we're going to do document. So we're saying self almost. It's like self dot. And then I want to, what was it, get? I'm not looking at the other one. It was get element by ID, right? And then, do I need to put this in parentheses? Now I am looking. Get element by ID. Yes, we do have parentheses here. Username. Oh, and then I would have forgotten about that value. Sorry, I would have forgotten about it. What username? Up here. So username. So that's the ID. And we get element by ID, right? So this is going to evaluate to this thing, and it's going to be passed to document. Yeah, and then dot value. Whoops. Okay. So now we do a fetch. Okay. Submit. Man. fetch submit backslash submit. So I need to go back over what fetch is. I guess I don't quite understand what that is. Let's keep writing, and then we're gonna go back to what that is. So within this fetch function, I pass in one parameter, which is this submit. I pass in a second parameter, and this is why I like writing it out fully before I go and investigate completely, because now I'm realizing, okay, well, this fetch is part of all of these, like method, header, body. That's part of the arguments within this fetch function. And when I was just looking at it, it didn't immediately jump out to me in my mind. And now I'm seeing like dot then and dot then. And I remember something about JavaScript having like asynchronous actions. And yes, that is absolutely something that we are going to need to understand and investigate in this project. So that's coming up. We have a ton of things that we need to continue to learn. So we're going to continue today with this JavaScript on the client side, on the HTML side, and then probably in the next video we're going to continue with getting all of the understanding of the JavaScript on the client side. We also need to figure out how to interact with a database. So once we actually get that data from the user, okay, well, now I need to store it. Awesome. That's an opportunity for us to use a database. We can use either SQL or NoSQL. We have lots of options, and we're just trying to learn, right? It's a good opportunity for us to learn. Other thing that we need to do is learn about asynchronous things. Like I remember it was async await, I think it was. And then, the then thing, right? So we have a lot to learn. Okay, so here's the first element, the first argument that we're passing in. Now the second element that we're passing in is a JSON object, and I'm telling it method. The method that I want is post. Okay. Headers is also a JSON, so it's like a nested thing. Content type application JSON. Okay. And this is like that. Content type is application JSON. Okay. Body JSON dot stringify. I don't know what that is either. Username. Okay. Username here. So what is this closing out? Okay, this is closing out this. No? No, it's closing out that. Okay. So now we still have another parent. Here, then here. And then we do a dot then. Oh my goodness. Response. Response dot text here. Oh my goodness. Dot then data. Okay, this is getting very complex here. Alert, yep, sure. Server response then plus data. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. So I come here and I am going to do this. My form 2, get form 2, okay, whoops, form 2, okay, now come here, do this, and I called it my form 2, whoops, and it didn't like it. Cannot connect to the server. That's right, because I stopped it. So I'm gonna run my server again, and I'm gonna rerun that. Awesome, so username goes here. Okay. Ooh. And then I'm gonna press submit. Server response, you got it. Okay. Close. So I think it's because we have this, it's called name, right? But in my form 2, did I call it name? Come on. Username, right? I'm gonna try to see if I can just copy, uncomment. Oh, console.log, okay, and then here, my second form, $sign here, and then what do I want? I want request dot body dot username. That be valid? Let's try it again. Timothy Lee Grant. Got it. Okay, cool. So we're starting to understand things a little bit more. I absolutely want to go over this again in more detail, but I think that's going to be in the next video because honestly, I'm getting a little bit tired right now. I had a pretty busy day at work because I got a lot done and I felt like I was making some good progress. So I was like, all right, here we go. So I was chugging away on my embedded systems work and making a lot of progress there. But now I'm pretty tired, and then I decided to make this video. Oh, I forgot. I just hit 1,000 subscribers today. Like, look at this. Look at this. YouTube Studio. And you see it? Like 1,006 now. Oh my goodness. That's so cool. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. And anyways, I will be back in the next video, and we are going to be going through all of these, and we're going to get it. We're going to understand it. We're going to put it into our brains, and we're going to gain this knowledge. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, if you want to subscribe, that would be amazing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I will see you in the next video.